Hello, my name is Kristen Johnson, and this is my UI observation presentation on Apple Maps. Apple Maps is a web mapping service developed by Apple. It's currently the default map of iOS, macOS, and watchOS. It provides directions and estimated times of arrival, whether you are driving, walking, or using public transportation. This morning, I actually happen to be in the Orlando area, and we are heading to Disney's Contemporary Resort for breakfast. So I want to show you how the Apple Maps site works with this. So the first thing is pull up Apple Maps, and you can just type in whatever you're looking for. With the GPS on, I typed in and I started typing contemporary, and it starts popping up with options in the area. So as you can see, Disney's Contemporary Resort is the second one up, which is great because then that way you're not having to even type out the whole thing, and it recognizes where you are. It actually gave me two different options. One I would say is the faster route, and one is the more scenic route. In this case, we actually decided to take the quicker route because we were hungry and ready to head to breakfast. Another great option that you have is looking for specific things in the area. So with Apple Maps, there's you can actually pull up from the bottom, and there's your food options, drinks, shopping, travel, other services as well, which is great. Since we were looking for some coffee to start off our morning on the way there, so it's great. So I pulled up the other additional services, clicked on drinks, and coffee shops pops up. And as you can see in the screen on the right, there are lots of coffee shops in the area, so that's great to know when we head out. Next, then you begin to go. Before you go, though, one great thing too that Apple has on there is just some basic information about the actual location. So if you pull up from the bottom again, then there's a lot of information on the Contemporary Resort, their hours, their address, phone number if you need it, and then also reviews from TripAdvisor. So say if you are looking to go somewhere that you've never been, it's great to have those additional reviews as well. And then from there we head out. Another great thing that I appreciate about Apple Maps is they tell you when there's congestion on the road, so you kind of have a heads up of what's coming up. For the most part, I would say this is right. Like I said, I use Apple Maps all the time. And the blue is you're clear, you're good to go, normal traffic as planned. And then as you can see on the left, there's a little bit of a yellow going into the blue, and that just means there's some congestion. Now, if you see red, that means you could potentially be stopped. So that could be something like an accident or construction. But generally, our ride is going to be a pretty smooth ride. And then again, it keeps on going on. So the great thing is it also redirects you. Say if there was unexpected construction that's not picked up with Apple Maps, it'll redirect you to a different location to still get you to your destination. And it also keeps you along the bottom. You'll see it keeps you in the loop of how many more minutes, how many more miles, and your estimated time of arrival. And that does adjust based on your if, like, say you do hit construction and things like that. So I appreciate that, because especially when you are on a time constraint and want to know what time are we going to get there, it really does keep you up to date as far as that goes. And then we have arrived. We are at the Contemporary Resort, ready for breakfast. Overall, I mentioned some positive things along the way as far as Apple goes. One thing that, and this could be user error, that I have found that I appreciate about other types of maps are being able to add points. So say if I wanted to stop at a store on the way to the next location, but I wasn't sure, especially being in Orlando, I'm not from here. So say it's a store I've never been to my knowledge, that and as much as I have messed around in there, I have not seen that. So again, could be user error, but that would be something that I would appreciate. Or if it is there, maybe it's something that's a little bit easier to find. I really do consider Apple Maps easy to use, minus the pinpoint thing, just because I feel like, it's pretty simple in the sense you type it in, it pulls it up. If you, for some reason, I have had instances where it hasn't found something, and in that case, I will just look up the address and I can pull it up that way. Sometimes I think that has to do more with like newer businesses. Usually if it's something that's been established, it's not an issue to pull up. The one design feature that I absolutely love about Apple Maps is being able to see what's around you. For example, this Friday we are before we head out, we are actually meeting a friend who lives around here, and we want to meet somewhere near the airport. So while we were in line for a ride yesterday, I pulled up Apple Maps and I typed in Orlando International, and then I clicked on the food option, and it showed me all the food options within, 2 miles of the airport, which there are lots, so which is great. So it's easy then for me to text my friend and say, hey, we can meet, here, here, here. So I think that's a great option to have, especially if you're in an area that you are unfamiliar with. So in conclusion, I think Apple Maps works great for the average user. Again, like I said, there are, the one thing that I would love to see with Apple Maps is just being able to make it easier, if it is available on there and I'm just not seeing it, to be able to pinpoint other points. So say if you are doing several steps, then you can do that. Otherwise, I think Apple Maps is a great tool to have, especially when you are in an area that you're unfamiliar with, or you just want to see what's around you, that you may or may not know is there, like different restaurants and stores and things like that. Thank you so much. Have a great day.